What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Travel with Sarah. And today is part 2 of 10 things I hate that people do while they're traveling. I wrote the list while I was really irritated on a business trip. Business travel is not for the faint-hearted. You are there to do a job, and when everyone gets in your way or does things that are really annoying, it grinds on you. So let me help you be the best traveler you can be and avoid doing these 10 things that I hate that people do while they're traveling. Let's get into it. The first thing that I hate that people do while traveling is making it your problem that they are either late for their flight or going to miss their flight. The only exception is if you are going to miss your flight because your connection is delayed. So that's not your fault, right? But if you arrive to the airport late and you want to cut me in the security queue, no. If you hung out in the terminal not recognizing that there was still an immigration line before you get to your boarding gate, absolutely not. It's not my problem that you are late to your flight. And as much as I don't mind one or two people getting in front of me in the queue, what I do mind is making it everyone else's issue that you are going to miss your flight. I'm talking about running through the airport, knocking things over, jumping over the barriers of the queue, and pushing past people to try and make your flight. I honestly have no sympathy for you. You should understand exactly what you need in terms of time for travel, to get through security, to get through immigration. It really just isn't anyone else's problem. And you should really be an adult and take responsibility for the fact that you are going to miss your flight. Sorry. The second thing that I absolutely hate that people do while traveling is when you get on the plane and there's an empty seat between you and the person on the aisle. I love a window seat. And they put all of their stuff in the empty seat. I would have liked to put some of my stuff in the empty seat too. There was one time I got to the window seat and the woman had put her bags that should have gone underneath the seat in front of her in the middle seat. Every time she wanted to get something out of this bag, she's rummaging through this bag in the middle seat. I don't need to see into your bag. I don't want to have all your snacks next to me. I'd like to maybe leave one or two items there, maybe something like a water bottle that I want to get easy access to that doesn't really fit in the little pouch behind the seat. But yeah, you sit down, you put all your shit in the empty seat, really annoying. And also you don't know if someone's going to end up sitting there. So you're just putting it there with the assumption that will be empty. Then I hate you. I do. I'm sorry, I hate you. So don't do that. Along the same line, the third thing that I absolutely hate that people do while traveling is when they fight you for the armrest. And let me tell you right now, if you're sitting next to me, you're not going to win that fight. I've been fighting this fight for a long time. I am a black belt in the armrest fight. You're not going to win. And also, it's rude. There is a happy medium whereby, and this is usually what happens, somebody decides to take the front of the armrest and somebody occupies the back. Their arms are closer to their body. So then we both have access to put our arms somewhere. Now I'm looking at you. The ones who will put their entire arm on the armrest, have their phone in their hand, playing their game, looking at email, whatever they're doing, and they will 100% fight you for that. They will not move their arm for the duration of the flight. If you try to put your arm on the free portion of the armrest, maybe it's the front, maybe it's the back, they will make sure that you know that that is their space. Maybe it's a passive-aggressive nudge. Maybe they decide to readjust so that your arm falls off the armrest. I will fight you for that armrest for the entire flight. Just share. Or if you are a window seat or aisle seat, you can kind of choose which one you're more likely to lean on, and then let the middle seat person at least have both because they haven't really got a place to brace. I'm willing to compromise, but I am not willing to take aggressive arm rest snatching behavior. Don't do that. The fourth thing that I absolutely hate that people do while traveling, again, we're still on the plane. This is when people are either getting up from their seat or walking down the aisle, they use the back of other people's seats to brace themselves. I get it. You might be struggling to get out of a small space. There is a way for you to use the back of the seat to get yourself up out of your chair or to make your way down a narrow aisle. Maybe it's at an angle. I understand, but let me tell you what's super annoying. Let me tell you what is horribly frightening. Yeah? You are in a deep slumber and you're awakened by this aggressive shaking. Aggressive shaking. Okay? You're awakened by that. Now, that is the type of person who, when they get up from their seat, they have lost all conscious understanding of the fact that there's someone sitting in that seat. And they grab it by both hands and they push themselves up and they grab and push themselves off into the aisle. Happens all the time. Be mindful, be demure, be respectful, okay? And use your core. The number 5 thing that I absolutely hate that people do when they're traveling. I'm guilty of this, but I always apologize. Now, I'm not talking about bags because bags are really difficult to get down an aisle, okay? I am talking about when you walk down an aisle, you should really be walking semi-sideways. Flight attendants are really good at walking down aisles because they do it every day. Us normal civilians, we're not so good at walking down aisles. You end up swaying. You end up smacking your ass into the shoulders of everyone that's sitting in an aisle. You end up shoulder checking with your hips the people who are sat there trying to enjoy their flight. I've got hips. I've got a bum. And I know that when I've smacked into someone, they felt it. They're probably jarred. They're probably annoyed. And I apologize. You know what I hate? When people go down the aisle with no care in the world, not taking into consideration their body or the bodies of other people on the plane. They don't walk sideways down the aisle. They don't take into consideration that this aircraft is moving. And they just smack their little ass down that aisle, hitting everybody along the way. I'm done with that. And if you do it, at least say sorry, please. Because if you don't, there may be a foot in the aisle waiting for you on your way back. And what would be worse is tripping and falling in front of everyone in the aircraft. It's just a threat to give you an understanding for how annoyed I am. The number 6 thing that I absolutely hate that people do while traveling is when you open your window prematurely and everyone's sleeping and the sun blinds the retinas out of your eyeballs. What are you thinking? What are you going to see other than blinding sunlight and clouds? Okay. So let me give you this little equation. When we left our destination, it was dark or getting dark. It is a long haul flight. We are all trying to sleep. I am specifically looking at my North America to European flights. When you leave in the afternoon and they go, "Good morning, welcome to London." It's not a good morning. Do you want to know why? Because the service that they give you right before you land is the point at which you open your window. When they dim the lights on the plane, most people close their windows, go sleep. It's dark outside. Everyone's sleeping. So when you decide, hey, I want to read a book. I can't see what's in my seat. I want to see what's outside. And you open the windows. You know what's happening? It's beaming straight into my sleeping eyes. And now when she says, "Good morning, welcome to London," you know what I'm thinking? It's not a good morning. You know who I want to kill? That person that opened their window and had their window open for the last 20 minutes. Blinding me with the 4 a.m. sunlight of the UK summer. I really hate when people do that. Wait until they say they're going to start their service for the breakfast to open your window. That's the appropriate time. When everyone starts to wake up, that's when you can open your windows. You know what happens when you open your windows? Really difficult to see a TV screen and watch your movies. Really difficult to sleep. Really difficult to adjust to the fact that you've just been crossing time zones. Don't do that. It's not good. It's not fair. Okay? It's not fair. The seventh thing that I hate that people do while traveling, I really hate it when there are lots of empty seats in economy and people are laying across all 3 seats, but their feet are sticking out into the aisle. And I mean, I've been there. I have been on a long haul flight where I thought I hit the lottery. I have all this extra space. I can lay down across these 3 seats, get a little bit of sleep, but I'm always curled up into a little bit of a ball. You know, you might be 6'5", then don't lay down. Sit up, maybe have your legs spread out across the 3 seats. But when I have walked down an aisle and there's been someone laying across all 3 seats and then their feet are stuck out, and then I'm trying to maneuver and I'm doing all those things that I just literally got done telling you not to do, I have to do those things to get around your feet. I have to lean into someone and shoulder check them with my hips. I have to hold on to the back of somebody's seat and potentially shake their seat to get around your feet. And also, it's gross. Nobody wants to see your feet. Nobody wants to brush against your feet as they walk by. The flight attendants are trying to get up and down the aisle. People are trying to use the bathroom. It's gross. Just tuck your feet in. You've already won the lottery by having a lot of extra space, more space than you paid for. Just tuck your feet in and do us all a favor, okay? The number 8 thing I absolutely hate that people do while they're traveling, specifically on plane, is when they're really nosy about what you're watching on your screens. I've walked past some screens and thought, ooh, what are they watching? Maybe I want to watch that. Do I linger? No. Do you linger when you're looking at people's screen? Have you been caught lingering? It's rude. It's just like looking at someone's phone. It's like peering into someone's living room and trying to figure out what they're watching on television. Mind your own business. We all have the same menu of entertainment. Why are you trying to see what I'm watching? Let me tell you why I'm really annoyed by this. Some airplanes actually have the privacy screen, so it's kind of difficult to see what other people are watching. But I usually spend flights catching up on movies I've not seen before. And I like to watch a lot of different content. Not all of it is appropriate for everybody's eyes, but it's appropriate for me as an adult. And I really enjoy being able to immerse myself in whatever I'm watching without judgment. The last thing I need is for somebody to be either peering through the little hole in between the seats to see what I'm watching, or walking by or looking across the aisle. Mind your own business. You don't need to see what I'm seeing. You don't need to know what I'm watching. You do you, I'll do me, boo boo, okay? The number 9 thing that I absolutely hate that people do while traveling is when they manage to open their duty-free alcohol, or they have indulged a little bit too much on the free alcohol, or potentially they've paid to get themselves absolutely plastered on a flight. This is usually a long haul flight. I have seen countless drunk Brits, normally loud, annoying, obnoxious, who are absolutely ruining the flight with their drunkenness. They are making it everyone else's prerogative to know how much of a good time they're having, and they haven't even got to their holiday yet. I honestly don't even think it's allowed. A lot of times I've seen people open the sort of sealed bag that they give you with your duty-free alcohol in it. I can only tell you from experience how common it is to see. Do not get too drunk on a flight. It's embarrassing, and alcohol at altitude affects you way more than it does on the ground. It dehydrates you. You're going to go to the toilet all the time. Then they're messing up the toilet with their drunkenness. I remember landing in Las Vegas and a bunch of British girls who had been drinking the entire flight over were struggling to comprehend how they were going to get through immigration. They're not even able to answer any of those questions that the immigration staff have for them. So please don't be one of those people that gets way too drunk on a flight. You could find that you get cut off by the flight crew. You could find that you get in trouble in the immigration experience because you're not able to answer your questions properly and you don't want to land in Trump's America and not be able to answer questions. And you also could find that they deny you boarding if you start before you even get on the flight, which a lot of times is what happens. If you've ever been to a UK airport and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, they 100% are getting their drink out. Doesn't matter what time it is, doesn't matter where they're going, how long the flight is, but on long haul flights specifically, I see a lot of drunk, mostly Brits, Europeans, usually Australians, some South Africans on flights, ruining it for everyone else. And lastly, the 10th thing that I absolutely hate that people do while traveling is vaping. Trying to sneak a vape on a plane is so stupid. Not only does it ruin it for everyone, but it really is a serious fine. There are some airports and airlines that will get an air marshal to drag you off the flight if they decide they still want to depart. There are some airlines that will not fly at all and will cancel the flight due to passengers who are either smoking or vaping, either before you take off or while you're in the air. They might decide that you have ruined it for everyone. Most of the time, if you've already taken off, though, they will not cancel or delay the flight. I have seen it where we've been on the ground and somebody was vaping whilst we've been delayed on the ground. And then they've decided, okay, no, we're going to cancel this because now we have to deal with pulling this person off the plane, getting the air marshals to arrest this person, or they obviously are going to impose this massive fine on this person when you get to your destination. Regardless of how addicted you are to nicotine, can you not just wait until you get off the plane? Can you not just be without it for the period of time that you need to get to your destination? Don't ruin it for everyone else, because they will make it so everybody else is affected by your poor decision making. You haven't been able to smoke on planes for the last 50 years, and it's not going to happen now. So those were the 10 things that I absolutely hate that people do while traveling. And this is kind of more specific to the things that happen on planes. I'm going to do a couple of more parts to this because I think it's super interesting to call out bad behavior and understand whether or not I'm the only one that finds these things annoying. It's a bit of fun, and as a business traveler, I've seen it all. So if this is you, can you please get your act together so we can all just have a smooth journey? I'm begging you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Travel with Sarah. And if you did, stick around because there's more to come. But in the meantime, stay cool, stay vibey, and have a great time on your next adventure. See you soon.